Most people are taught, from a very young age, to think in straight lines. There's a right way, a wrong way, and a set path you're supposed to follow. So when someone thinks differently, it often makes others uncomfortable. They're called strange, unrealistic, slow, or even difficult. But what if thinking differently isn't a problem at all? What if it's actually a powerful mental advantage that most people never develop? If you've ever felt like your mind doesn't work the way everyone else's does, stay with me, because this might explain more about you than you realize. And if you enjoy psychology-based insights like this, take a second right now to like this video and subscribe to my channel, The Hidden Mind, where we explore how the mind really works beneath the surface. People who think differently don't just see different answers. They see different questions. While most minds focus on what is obvious and immediate, different thinkers naturally look beneath the surface. They ask why things exist the way they do, what assumptions are being made, and what might happen if those assumptions are wrong. This ability is known in psychology as cognitive flexibility, and it's one of the strongest predictors of problem-solving ability in complex situations. One major mental advantage of thinking differently is pattern recognition. Different thinkers are often able to connect ideas that seem unrelated to others. They notice similarities between people, systems, behaviors, and outcomes that most minds overlook. This is why many innovators, strategists, and creators struggled in traditional education systems. Their minds weren't designed to memorize information, but to connect it. Another advantage is resistance to group thinking. When most people are surrounded by the same opinions, emotions, and fears, they unconsciously absorb them. But people who think differently have a natural distance from the crowd mindset. They pause before agreeing. They analyze before reacting. This mental separation protects them from impulsive decisions, emotional contagion, and social manipulation. While others follow trends, different thinkers evaluate them. People who think differently also tend to have a stronger internal compass. Instead of relying heavily on external validation, they trust their own reasoning. This doesn't mean they think they're always right. It means they value truth over approval. Over time, this builds quiet confidence. They may not be the loudest voice in the room, but when they speak, their words often carry weight. Another hidden advantage is creativity that comes from constraint breaking. Traditional thinking works within known boundaries. Different thinking questions the boundaries themselves. This allows for original solutions, unconventional ideas, and fresh perspectives. Many breakthroughs in science, art, and business didn't come from doing things better, they came from doing things differently. Emotionally, people who think differently often experience the world more intensely. They don't just feel emotions, they analyze them. They reflect on their reactions, question their feelings, and search for meaning behind emotional patterns. This depth can feel overwhelming at times, but it also leads to emotional intelligence. They understand not only what they feel, but why they feel it. Another mental advantage is adaptability. Because different thinkers aren't rigidly attached to one way of seeing the world. They are just faster when circumstances change. When plans fail, they don't freeze, they reframe. When systems break, they read. This makes them especially valuable in unpredictable environments where old rules no longer apply. However, thinking differently often comes with early life challenges. Many people with this advantage grew up feeling misunderstood. Teachers may have labeled them distracted or unfocused. Family members may have urged them to be more normal. Over time, this can create self-doubt. But the truth is, different thinking doesn't always fit into standardized systems. That doesn't make it inferior, it makes it ahead of its time. People who think differently also tend to struggle with small talk and surface-level routines. Their mind is naturally drawn to depth, meaning, and long-term implications. Repetitive tasks without context drain them. They need to understand the why behind what they're doing. When they don't, motivation disappears. This is not laziness, it's a mismatch between environment and cognition. Another overlooked advantage is the ability to sit with uncertainty. Most people rush toward answers to reduce discomfort. Different thinkers can tolerate not knowing. They explore ambiguity. They let ideas evolve, instead of forcing conclusions. This mental patience leads to more accurate insights over time. You may also notice that people who think differently often have unconventional life paths. Their careers may not follow a straight line. Their interests may change. Their identity may evolve. While this can look unstable from the outside, it often reflects a mind that is constantly learning, integrating, and refining its understanding of the world. Socially, different thinkers may feel isolated at times. not because they are antisocial, but because deep thinking doesn't always align with mainstream conversation. They may feel like they're observing life from a slight distance, but that distance also gives perspective. It allows them to see dynamics others are trapped inside of. Another mental advantage is long-term thinking. Different thinkers are less focused on immediate rewards and more aware of future consequences. They simulate outcomes mentally before acting. This foresight helps them avoid short-term traps and make decisions that compound over time. It's important to understand this clearly. Thinking differently does not mean thinking better in every situation. It means thinking differently in a world that often rewards sameness. The challenge is not to suppress this trait, but to learn how to use it strategically. When different thinkers try to force themselves into rigid systems, they feel broken. When they build systems that fit their mind, they thrive. If you've ever felt out of place, slow to start but deep in thought, or misunderstood because your ideas don't arrive the same way as others, this is your reminder that your mind may carry a rare advantage. The world doesn't move forward because everyone thinks the same. It moves forward because a few people dare to think differently. I'd like to hear from you. Have you ever been told that you think differently, or that you see things in a unique way? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might help someone else stop doubting their own mind. And, if you know someone who feels misunderstood because of how they think, share this video with them. It could help them finally see their difference as a strength. Before you go, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, The Hidden Mind, so you don't miss the next story that might change the way you see yourself.